uh, video for puzzles with Benjamin. I'm gonna just give me a second here as I get myself set up with the groups that I'm in. I um I like to go live and then share after I'm live. Just what I do. So just give me a second. If you're watching this after, you may want to fast forward about a minute or two, not too much. Um, basically, the best way. I mean, if you haven't fast forward yet, basically the best way to do puzzles here with me would be after I finish it. Um, if you're watching it, I'm sorry, I kind of mixed that up. If you're watching it and it's not live anymore, the best way to go about it would be like to pause it in between each one and try to solve it yourself. So that's basically the best way to go about it, I think. So just so you guys know. Um, it says waiting for me. I don't know why. I thought I already went live. Um, yeah, okay, it is going live. That's weird. It says waiting for me on my on here for some reason, and I don't understand why it's saying that. Okay, there it goes. All right, I can see everything. Okay, just making sure. All right, here we go. Okay. The basic way I do this is normally look at checks, captures, and threats. Um, most of these puzzles are going to be checkmates, and this one isn't a immediate checkmate. Now, I already know the answers to go up. I already know that, but let's figure it out. Oh, this is the number 8. Oh, because when it closed last time, I didn't think it actually left off from last time. That's perfectly fine. I can start here. It's only 500, so it's fine. But if I move here, the king would have to move up, and then it's basically, you know, the rule of square. So the way that works is that this is basically has two left back here, and this is basically two left back here. That's the easiest way I like to count it. Otherwise, I like to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is a lot slower than saying it's two away from the board, and basically this is two away from the board. So it's basically the same thing, just faster. That's what I do. Most people teach you to count this way, and if you can count left squares, it's the same thing. So basically, when I move here and the king moves up, he would not be in the square, and it's my move. And because it's my move, this pawn will automatically make it into a queen. So that's basically how that works. You roll a square. And if he was one closer, he would have been in it, and he would have not hit stopped the queen. So that's pretty much how that works. All right, checks, captures, and threats. All right, so there's a lot going on here, different pieces, but let's look at checks first. Checks, captures, and threats. I can't go here because he'll take it. I can't go here because he'll take it. The only check that I have that can't be captured immediately is right here. And when I go here, he can't defend it. The queen is blocked off. He doesn't have anywhere to actually go, and the rook is on the wrong file. So this right here will be check. He'll block it with the bishop, take it. He'll block with the bishop, take it, and that'll be checkmate. So checks, captures, and threats are the best way to do puzzles. It's the easiest. Look for another check. The first check I notice is right here. So let's go with that. If I go here and call check, the bishop has it covered. The knight has this square covered. The rook would have all these squares covered. The only place the king can go is back here. So that'd be check, and the king would have to go back. Now, do I have a follow-up? I do. Now, it is defended by the rook, by the bishop, and everything here is covered. So if I come in and call check again, with the knight, that'd be checkmate. Because the king will be hit by the knight, and it's already blocked in by the rook. So that would be checkmate. Checks, captures, and threats. This right here is the first check I notice, and it is also a checkmate. King has no squares to move because the queen is covering them all, and yeah, the queen is defended by the knight, so that's checkmate. But I'm in check right now first, so I'm looking at this because obviously puzzles. If I was a game, I'm pretty sure I noticed I get checked right away. So, there's only one square I can move to actually, so which would be right here. I wouldn't want to capture it because then he'll take, I'll take, and then he'll take the knight, and then it'd be a queen versus a rook. So that'd be really bad. So I'm just gonna go over, and he obviously stopped the. He had a checkmate threat, so he took it. If I take this back, I will be winning. It'd be a queen and a rook versus two rooks. So basically, we had a checkmate in one, but in the puzzle, I was in check. So it was him, So that works out fine either way. Checks, captures, and threats. First off, I'm not in check. Let's look at that first. This is the first check I see, and it's a very common checkmate pattern of the queen and the bishop. So I go here, call check, and it's defended, and there's no pieces defending it. Now, to be very simple and clear, these pawns are weak in the opening. There's nothing defending it except for the king. So if one piece were to attack it and it's not defended, it can capture it. But if it's defended, then it's basically checkmate. So the F pawn and F2 pawn and F7 pawn are both very weak. So that's good to know. And this is basically the very similar setup to the checkmate. Scholar's checkmate is, and here it'd be E5, but normally it's E4, and the queen go here, bishop goes here, and that would be checkmate. As a scholar's checkmate, this is a very similar pattern. They're not exactly the same squares, but they're covering the same squares. So that's why it's very similar. All right, checked, captures, and threats. First and foremost, I am not in check. Let's see, captures and checks. Well, if I would have called check here, he would take it, and I wouldn't have a follow-up. I would just lose my queen, so it's not that. So captures, my rook is being threatened, and I'm threatening his at the same time. So, let's see here. I'm threatening both these pieces, and basically, if I were to take the knight, he would have been able to take the rook. So that's not it. I can take the bishop, and that'd be a free piece. Let's see if that's the puzzle or not. I have a queen. He has a queen. We both have the two rooks. We both have two minor pieces. So if I were to capture this bishop right now, I'll be up one whole piece. And I don't see a way he can counterattack. So that should be it. He doesn't have like a discovered attack, like a check, because the knight's too far, like on my rook or anything, or he doesn't have anything at all. So this should be it. It's a free piece. Okay. Let me see if I can go back one. Okay, there's nothing. All right. And I can just take it here. The queen's being threatened, and I'm defending, so it's perfectly fine. Checks, captures, and threats. Let's see here. The first check I see, I think it's the only check actually, is queen here, queen of c6, hitting the king. Um, his defenses for that would be he can't move anywhere because bishop, so he has to put a piece in front of it. The only piece he has to block with is his bishop on c8, his light square bishop, and I would be able to take the rook for free, and that would be a check. After that, it's not over. The king can't move because of the bishop, and this bishop is in the other square, so you have to move back. And then I'll call it check, and that'll be checkmate. So that's pretty much how that one's going to work. Check, check. Oh, next move is checkmate. They should have let me do it. I don't know why some puzzles stop that early, because I think that when you solve puzzles, you should see all the way through mentally and then actually play them out completely. That's the best way I see for puzzles for me. That's what helped me learn, is to visualize the puzzles completely before making a move. And that's been very helpful for me. Let's look at checks, captures, and threats. First and foremost, the queen is kind of here, so it's like all up in my stuff. And I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to checkmate before he can do anything threat-wise. So I can't go check here. He'll just take it, and I'll take it back, and then I'll just lose everything. So the only check I have is this check right here with the pawn. The king would have to move back to one of these two squares. I'm not entirely sure it matters where he goes, because when he moves back, I can just call it check. If he moves back again, I can just call it check. If he moves up, we check, move over. Check. He can't move here because his pawn is blocking it. So that'll be checkmate. So it'll be check. He'll move either here or here. It doesn't make a difference. Check. He can't move back because his pawn is here, so he has to go back. Check, over. Check, back. And then that'll be checkmate. Okay, I just wanted to double check it. And checkmate. All right. Checks, captures, and threats. Black to move. The first check I notice is right here. This is a check, and it is also a fork. It's forking the rook and the king. Let's see if that's it. Well, the bishop can't do a check, and the king, the rook, that'd be a very bad check. He'll just take it. So this is the only good check I see. So now that looks like it might be the answer. I'm not just gonna move it. I have to calculate more. So after the king moves, I can take it. If he takes back, I can block. And yeah, it's safe because he can't come here to e1 because the pawn will just take him. So that looks good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I would have to, I believe I am to win the pawn here. I want to double, I don't see, I know in the game I'm winning even just by taking this, but when it's puzzles, you have to have like the most accurate move or it's wrong, even if this is still winning. So let me make sure. He has lots of places to go, so that's not it. Okay. All right, checks, captures, and threats. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. There is no immediate check that I see, but there is no capture either that I see immediately. There's a threat. I can move my knight here to fork his queen and rook. If I go here and let's say he moves back, I can take the knight, the queen, and then if he takes this, I can take back. Then he can take my. So it'd be knight versus rook. So I'm not sure if that's it, but yeah, it actually looks like it. That will be winning. I'd have these 3 pawns. He has 3 pawns here, and I have a pass pawn. So that would be winning. If it was just a rook and 3 pawns versus a knight and 3 pawns, that is winning, but can turn to a draw if the pawns are traded off. A knight rook endgame is drawish, so but because of the extra pawn, that's winning. So I think that might be it. Yeah, you have to know your endgame stuff too for puzzles because you can't just be capturing stuff and thinking you're gonna win because you can end up in a draw game. I mean, that can happen if you don't know what a endgame looks like. That's winning. Sometimes there's endgames that you may think are winning that are actually fully drawn. So I think this is it. It's not super winning, but it was here, 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 here. Yeah, that looks. I don't like it too much. There's not much of a difference, but okay. Um, I was expecting a different move right here, so now I have to recalculate because I seen the wrong move. Now, if I were to take, he can just come here and call check. I'll have to move back, and that would be checkmate against me. He would actually checkmate me if I did that. So if I this is not the move because that would be checkmate against me. If I take the queen, he will be able to take my queen, and I don't want to call it check because then I just do my rook. So basically, if I take his queen and he takes my queen, I would just take his knight, and then I'll have 2 pieces for his rook, which I think the other way might have been better, but I guess this is how. Maybe this is better. I thought the other way was. All right, checks, captures, and threats. This is a check right here. The king has 1 square, but he also can block. If he blocks, it'll be taken, check, over, and checkmate. And check. If he doesn't block and he just moves over, let's see what I can do. I can go over here, call it check right here, and he'd be forced to move back, and that will still be mate. So it's mate either way. Okay, that's the way he chose to do it. Checks, captures, and threats. Let's see here. Checks, captures, and threats. I don't see anything specifically that stands out right away. I have this check, but he can just take it, and it'll be a free piece for him. I have this check, he'll take it. It's a free piece for him with something. You have like everything. I can't take this knight because he'll just take it as a check. So those all the checks that I see are pretty useless. My queen is under attack. It is possible for me to go here to threaten the rook, but he'll just come up here and he can block it off. I will be able to go down and call check, and he can move the queen here. Then I can call check. He has to move the king up one. He can't take it, lose the queen. But I don't really see a very decent follow up. So let me see here. I'm not sure if this is the move yet. I don't see a very good follow up. Yeah, I don't see a very good follow up for this at all. Um, I don't think this is it, but I don't really see any other forcing move either. And puzzles are all forcing moves pretty much, or preparation of some type. And my queen's under attack. I have to prepare something. The only aggressive square that I have is right here. Everything else is pretty passive. This is blocked off. This right here is blocked off. This is blocked off. This is covered. So basically, my options are these squares right here. These are my only squares that are available to my queen, and none of them are aggressive except for B2. B2 is the only aggressive square that I have. So I feel like that's the answer, even though I really can't calculate it fully. I don't really know. So I'm going to go on a limb here. Okay. Now, here, if I call check, if he were to take it, wait, not here. I'm sorry. I was expecting this move. And then, so I was explaining the wrong move. He moved his queen. Okay. So here, I guess I can take the rook. I was expecting the bishop move, and I didn't see any way for him to really, for me to really do anything. But here, it looks like I have the rook for free. Um, and if he would remove the bishop afterward, I can take the pawn. So I don't really like this puzzle because I didn't see any good defense against the c3. So either I'm just completely wrong or something, because if he moved his bishop here, I would have called check. He could block it. Everything's covering each other. There's nothing I can do. And if I try to do like a simple tactic or trick, he doesn't have to take the bishop. He could just move here, and everything's defended. At least I think it is. So I don't like this puzzle. I don't think it was adequate. I'll just take it, and then I can just escape by taking this pawn. There's no other good move. If I take the knight, I'll be captured. If I take the bishop, he'll just take my queen. So this is the only square that's safe. Checks, captures, and threats. Um, First and foremost, I'm being threatened right now. This right here, uh, not really much of a threat. The rook is under attack. So basically, whatever I do, it looks like it had to be a check. Um, so let's say I call check this way. So the only checks I have are these three, and this one right here will just lose, and this right here will just lose this here. Um, Excuse me, I'm getting a lot of notifications from my group. Um, 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about this. Um, all right. I'll be back now. I should be back now. All right. So because that's the only moves that are threatening, I believe this is it. He'll capture it. I think I'll take. He'll move up, and I gotta find a follow up. So what is the follow up here? Check, take, check. King move up. I mean, would it be check? Because I have the bishop. The bishop, if he goes anywheres, I think this should be it. I think this is it. I'm not 100% sure. All right, and if I go up here, check, he had to move in a dark square. My bishop could come in to help attack. Yeah, and this is covering all these squares. So even though the queen doesn't have him in check, he has all his escape squares covered, and this would be checkmate. So that's checkmate. All right, checks, captures, and threats. I don't see. I don't know why it's blurry. I see that you commented something, Pete, but I don't really see it because it's. I don't know why. Go to Queen D8. Yeah, I did do the Rook one first, but yeah, Queen D8 was that right after. Let's see. Checks, captures, and threats. Black to move. Um, First, this is defending this pawn. So if I just capture with the queen, he would just take my queen. So that's not it. If I capture with the pawn and check, and he would remove the queen over, I can take the rook, and the only way to block would be come down, which is defended by the bishop. So I'll be able to take it for checkmate. So I believe this right here will lead to checkmate because he can't move over because the bishop. So he has no choice but to take it with the queen. And after he captures it, I can call check. The king still can't move because of the bishop. So the queen would have to block, and that would be checkmate. So that would be the move. Okay, it's fine either way. It doesn't matter which way the queen went, there'll still be checkmate. Checks, captures, and threats. Let's see here. Checks, captures, and threats. Well, right now, the only check I see is this right here, but then the king would just get, and then I'll call it check, and I don't see a follow up after that. He can just move out the way, and he'll be protecting these three squares with the king, and I can't come in. So that's definitely not it. I can double up my rooks. If he does something stupid like take that, this would be a checkmate. So right here, we threatening checkmate. So he has to block it. The only way he can block it is by moving the rook up. I can take the rook, and he has nothing else he can do to block. He can't move this pawn to escape because this pawn is blocking it, and this pawn is also taking the square. So when I put my rook up, that'll be checkmate. Oh, well, that's still checkmate. Take, move up, and then checkmate. All right, checks, captures, and threats. The first capture I notice is right here, and that is actually checkmate. I'll call check. It's protected by the knight, so the king can't capture it, and the king can't move to these two squares because of the queen. So that's checkmate in one. All right, checks, captures, and threats. Um, excuse me. Checks, captures, and threats. I don't have a check, so it's not a check. My pieces are not close enough to the king for a check, and this one can't really do much of anything. And these two are back here. The only active piece I have right now is the knight. Um, it is not a check. So let's look at captures. If I were to capture this knight right here, he can simply just capture my queen. Um, After he catches my queen, and you have an in-between move, I can call check, make him move out the way, and I will capture the queen back. So I'll be winning a knight and a queen for a queen. So I'll be up in material. So I think that's what it is. And then if I just capture back, I would have traded evenly. But because this check is why I'm winning a piece. Checks, captures, and threats. Now, first look at checks, and there is none. I have no way to put the king in check, so that's not part of the puzzle. Captures. Um, the only capture I notice right away is this one, but you can take it back. And threat. The pawn up will win a piece no matter what. He'll move one of these two, and I'll take the other one. However, I noticed I could capture this, And if he move up and I move to remove my pawn, he would just take my pawn. If this pawn was defended, let's say by the rook, which is not, let's pretend it was, I actually would have been able to take this way and threaten his rook and his bishop at the same time. So just keep that in mind. But in this case, it works with the bishop protecting it. Usually, this pawn is protected with another pawn or with the rook when it comes to these type of forks. I haven't really seen it with a bishop in a puzzle this first time, but it works the same way. All right, and this right here blocks it and also still keeps the threat going of capturing one of the pieces. Checks, captures, and threats. Checks, captures, and threats. This is a check. It's defended by the bishop. After I capture, the king only has one square. And because this bishop, anywhere I move my rook, he'll be in check again. So I'm not sure if this is a Xingzhuang puzzle or not, or Zhongzhuang. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correct. But check, move over one. Now I'm trying to find out the most damage I can do. I think if I move rook back to c4 on the square, it would be check again, and I'll be threatening the queen. So I think that's the puzzle. I call it check, move back, and I'll be able to take his queen that way. And even if he tries to stop the check by taking it, I can just take the queen. So even with that. So it looks like that's it. I'm in check. The second time I forgot to check about my checks. All right, I can take. He can take back. I can call it check. He can move back. I can come back and call it check again and take the queen. So it's the same thing, but I didn't realize that. All right. Checks, captures, and threats. My king is not in check. I was doing this for a little while and then I stopped checking my king. All right, this looks like I forgot what it's called again. Smothered mate. I can call it check. It's a double check, and because it's a double check, the king only can move out the way. You can't block a double check, and you can't capture one of the pieces because your king will still be in check by the other one. So the knight going here, he can't take the knight, and he can't do anything about the queen. The king would have to move over. The queen will call check after that. It's blocked by the knight, so the king can't capture. The rook has to capture, and then the queen will go back on f2, and that'll be checkmate. So that's a common pattern. It's called a smothered checkmate. Let's check. Check and checkmate. All right. Checks, captures, and threats. The first check I see is right here. Wait, my king. Okay, my king's not in check. Check is the first one I see, but he can just take it with his knight. And I don't see much of a follow-up, really. Let's pretend. Let's walk through it. Check. Let's say he captures. Yeah, I don't see much of a follow-up. I mean, if I call it check this way, he would just take the knight. If I call it check this way, he would just take it with the queen. So I don't see that. I don't see it. Another thing is after he takes this, he's threatening my queen. So it looks like this capture might be it. Because I have all these problems here with the check, and it's not working out for different reasons. And also my queen will be under threat. This right here looks like something I should calculate. He can take it with the knight or the queen. If he were to take it with the knight, I do have this check, but I don't see a follow-up. Yeah. And this diagonal is blocked off. If this pawn was up one, I might have some tactics with the queen, but it's not. I always look at stuff like that too. I'm used to doing it because of my games. It's not a puzzle. A lot of times I'll prepare things for an extra, you know, attack. The puzzle, however, the forcing move is right now. Like it's right now. So I don't have to I don't I know I have to what I have to look for. In real games, you can miss stuff sometimes because I don't see the forcing move right now. So I probably would have prepared something so later I can attack and then come in and try to do something else. But this is the only check that I think is worth it. But after he takes back, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I should do here. And if I call check with my knight and he takes back, I can take. But I see lots of captures. But there's so many variations and different types. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this because I don't think it's anything else. Okay. Um. Oh, if I capture here and he captures back, that's a check, and I win the queen. So that's pretty much what this is. Check, check, and capture. All right. All right. Checks, captures, and threats. Let's see here. This is a check right here. I already got 29 without any mistakes so far, which is pretty good. Usually I get like one or two by now. So I won't be surprised if I get one soon. I'm usually happy if I get 20 in a row. So I'm pretty happy right now. This right here is a check. So let's calculate that one. Check. Let's say he moves over. I don't see what I can do after that. I know my queen right now is under attack, so I also have to move it. But the knight will be attacked twice. So that should be the puzzle. A free knight. I call it check. He does whatever he does. I take the knight. Looks very simple. I'm looking for counterattacks, and I don't see one. Yeah, and I can't take here. Well, I can't take here because the queen. I'm sorry, it's defended. So my original thought was this, and I'm going to keep it because it looks like that's what it is. Okay. Uh, checks, captures, and threats. Checks, captures, and threats. The first check I notice, I have two checks right here. I can take here, and I can take here. This looks like a tactic where if I take here and call it check and the king moves over, this is blocked off. So this bishop can call check. And what would happen is the king would have to move back, and then that'll be checkmate with the rook because the rook has it taken care of. So I'll be sacrificing my queen for checkmate. So that's check and check. This is actually pretty common as like I think this is really common after 1,000. This type of checkmate people miss a lot. So checks, captures, and threats. This is a check. He can take back with the queen, but after he takes back with the queen, he called check right here is the move that's needed. And the king to move away from the queen, I can take it, or the queen can move in front of the king, and I will still take the queen. So I'll be winning the queen. Oh, that's really weird. I don't see what was wrong with that. I'll take it. Maybe I was supposed to do check first, and then it's win the rook. Oh, that'll be checkmate. Oh, never mind. I see it now. If I move the rook over first and call it check, the king had to move back with his pawns behind it. And I take the rook, the queen will take it, the queen will take it. Okay. I was looking to win a piece and it was checkmate. So, all right. I had a, or I shouldn't, it happens. Checks, captures, and threats. My king's not in check. Now, this pawn is basically checkmate in one. Looks really odd because I'm not used to seeing that here after 30. Simple checkmate in one. There's a lot going on, but if I call check here and you can't capture it back, that's checkmate. Uh, Checks, captures, and threats. The first check I see is over here, so let's calculate that first. This is a check. The king can move up one, and also the knight can capture it. So I don't think that's the move for that reason, because he can just take it with the knight, and then that's nothing happens. That's a check. The other check is over here, but he can just take it with the captures. The only capture I have is right here. He'll just take it back. So it's not that. And here's the other last check. I almost missed this one. This check right here is a. This is the first check right here. And I think, yeah, that's it. That'd be checkmate. This is blocked off. This is blocked off. And this right here we blocked off. So that's checkmate. Wait to move. Checks, captures, and threats. Wait to move. Checks, captures, and threats. Well, the king is threatening my rook. So that's not very pleasant. Um, if I were to call check this way and sack my rook and call check, he can't move this way because the bishop. This is the only. And then there you go. It's checkmate. Checks, captures, and threats. Black to move. Checks, captures, and threats. This is the first check I see. Let's say he takes it with the queen. What would I do? I don't see a follow up. I do not see a follow up. So it's not a check. Captures. The only capture is here, but he'll just take it back. So it's not a capture. This move actually is forking two pieces. So this is a prep, like more of a preparation type thing. This looks like it might be it, but he can come down and call check this way. So I'm not sure if that's actually it because I can call it go here, threaten both pieces. He can call check. If I were to move my piece up, either way, his rook can come down and call check, defended by the bishop. So let's say I do this, and he would call check. I would have to move away maybe, but if I move away, he has this check, and then he be threatening my queen and move out the way again. So that's not looking very good. Let me double check that. Yeah, he can just take my queen. Yeah, so this knight is protecting this. And this knight is protecting here. So if he takes it, and I take, and he takes, it's all pretty well defended. Actually, I just realized something. This bishop is protecting this pawn. So if I do this threat, and he were to take, I can just take it with the bishop. So looks good. All right. He didn't do that. But here, if I were to take right now and be greedy, that would be checkmate against me, and I would just lose the game. For that reason, this was a move I didn't predict. I predicted a different one. So let's calculate again. I think taking the knight, the bishop may be better. Um, he can't really call me in check in any which way because I can just take it, and he can't go here because of this bishop here. But can he do a rook sack? I can just move over one, and I'm pretty safe. I can just kind of go my cubby hole. So yeah, I think this is it. This looks like a free piece. But then if I take it, what if he takes with his knight? I can take. It looks all good. All right. Checks, captures, and threats. This here looks like a good check, but he can just take it. So that's not good. This will be checkmate, but the knight's in the way. So if I take the knight, it doesn't matter if he captures with either or. This will be checkmate. So I'm going to go ahead and take the knight for free. And after that, let's see how he defends, because I have checkmate if he takes back. Oh, well, that's unpleasant. Yeah, I don't really see much of anything else for that one. Um, yeah, I don't see much of anything else. All right, checks, captures, and threats. So now if I call check this way, he would just take it. But he can't. Wait, he can't take it because the queen. So this would be check. Um, the only he can't move anywhere. The rook has his covered. The pawn has his covered. He can't take it because the pen. So the only square he has to move to is right here to g5, and my queen can block it and attack at the same time. So it's protecting my rook and attacking. He would have to move over. And call it check. I mean, I don't want to take this rook right here. It looks like a free piece, but he has so much material that that free piece doesn't matter. If I just take it, he probably will end up winning the game somehow. Yeah, he'll like call it check, and then I lose my queen, and yeah, that'd be game over. So that's definitely not it. So this looks like a step. I just don't see the full variation. The queen is protected by the bishop, so even if I call it check here and he moves out the way, I can't just take the queen because it's protected by the bishop. So I'm going to get it started, but I'm not entirely sure what the finish is. Now, I like this, but he can just come over and take, and I can call it check. He can move over to the square here, maybe, and then call it check. I don't like that too much, but the queen can move here as well. Yeah, I didn't like the other one too much. It looked like it was too much work, and I think this is checkmate. I'm putting the king in check. This is covered by the rook. This is covered by the queen. This is covered by the queen as well. This is covered by the pawn. This right here is covered by the pawn, and the queen is protecting the pawn as well. So that's checkmate. Okay. Checks, captures, and threats. Let's see here. If I were to take, I don't see a follow up. This right here is a check, and after he moves out the way, I can call check. And if he moves out the way again, my queen, I'm going to call check. So I think it might have something to do with that. I don't see a very easy checkmate, but there's only forcing moves I really see. And puzzles are usually forcing moves, so I'm going to go ahead and try to calculate that a little bit in here. So I'm going to go ahead. Okay. I got 36 this time. That was pretty good. So I'm gonna tell people, hold on a second. I'm gonna go to my chat and tell people to if they wanted to challenge me, that's fine. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, just send a challenge, um, which is perfectly fine. I'm gonna be sharing the link again for, yeah, if they want to watch it while they're playing against me, that's perfectly fine. I do 3 minute because this has like a 2 second delay, so I can comfortably explain everything and win. If they're trying to use my explanations to beat me, so if like the explanations are meant to watch after, not during, so it has a 2 second delay, so 3 minute games are perfectly fine. So I'm gonna wait to see for a challenge, and I'll go from there. I can also play against a bot while I wait for a challenge. Someone said they would play against me, but I guess I can just start off right now, and then if someone sends me a challenge, I'll accept it. Yeah, my rating went up a lot. It was like 13 something, like lower 1300, so it went up almost 100 points. Um, and since I've been doing this about maybe a week ago, so just doing puzzles for a week. All right. Oh, let's see. Check captures and threats. Okay, that's fine. I will move knight to f6. I like being the Budapest. I gotta learn different moves, but I'm gonna go for the Budapest. All right. Well, I guess not. Oh, this is a free pawn. Um, Normally in this situation, people play c4 because this is a free pawn. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue my development. I can leave my knight here until it's threatened. All right. Here actually he can take, and if I were to take back, he can call it check. I can still block. So actually, it's not actually a bad. It's actually bad. Never mind. Only because I can move my knight back. If I couldn't, then that would be fine. But okay, he's threatening the f7 square, which is good. I can block it though, but that's definitely good to see. Castle. I can threaten the bishop. I can play d6 and maybe expand. But I like being more direct, so I'm just gonna go ahead and attack the bishop. I think it gives you better control of the center as well. I also gonna bring my knight in, my rook in, and my pawn up to help control the center a little bit better. I'm gonna before I do this though, because I would be undefending my pawn with my queen, and he'll be able to take it. So before I do that, I'm just gonna have a little solid protection. I may even want to bring my bishop out first, just to not block it in, and then bring my knight in. Looks like that might be a little better. I'm glad with that. Let's see here. Okay. He That's good. He's seen the threat. I can take here. He can take back. Then I can prepare my advance of the e5 pawn. If I try to develop now, he might be able to play f3, and then I wouldn't know what to do with my bishop. I mean, I can move it here, but then there's not. It just looks weird to me, so I'm just gonna capture. I don't know. I think it's just weird, awkward. So I'd rather just capture. I don't want any awkward pieces because it wouldn't be doing anything here. It's not even targeting anything. So I'd rather capture something that might be more meaningful. Now this right here looks like a good hole, but he can take it with his knight. So I don't want to do that. My rook over. I might actually advance my pawns. That way, if he does take it, well, he stopped that as well. I can go here, but I don't have much of a follow up. I kind of like the idea of moving my pawns up, and that way, if he takes it and I take it back, I can come in and actually have a knight on the center. Oh, I'm talking too much. My time is almost out. I didn't realize that my time was so low, so I'm at to move pretty fast now. Um, got a nice little hole there. I was preparing for it, but that was unnecessary. To get ready to just move in and attack. All right. I'm assuming he'll take the pawn. No, he will not. I'll let that happen, just to open up things. Think this would be good. Yeah, I'm running really low on time. I was excited, and I just completely forgot that I was in a 3 minute time control. So that was like pretty bad for me. Um, I had to do a really quick checkmate. So, um, I'm gonna be checkmate. All right, that was really scary. I was talking too much and almost lost on time. I had like 30 seconds left before I realized it. All right, so you can play again if you like. Okay. All right, so go ahead. It's my turn. I'm gonna try to explain less than before, um, only because of what happened. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and play Gambit. I never play. I never play this Gambit. I don't like it, but just for fun. I don't. I never seen it before, but I have a feeling this is the better move to do. Is that capture? So I'm gonna call it check. And if you were to block it with a pawn, I would just take it. And if you were to take off that pawn, Okay, he's not doing that. Here I can just call check. Is the move, I believe. I think that might be no. He can block it with the knight, and then I can just take the rook. So should be fine. And he can't capture it because the pin. Um, Here he's threatening to um do that. So I guess I can develop, and then if he takes and calls check, I can just block with my knight. I guess that's what I can do. Okay. I will be threatening the square. I can bring my rook in as well. It's actually not too bad. Um, I'll call it check. Bring my rook in to attack this way. It's not bad. I can take queen, take. Um, or I can just go back. But then I'll be blocking my bishop. But my bishop can go out this way, so it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I actually like the idea of doing this. Be attacking a queen. And also here is attacking as well. He can, if he takes back, I can just call check. And I have a lot going on, so I'm gonna go ahead with this first. But I do like this right here as well. Attack the queen. This is pinned, so if I can take this bishop, that'd be great. Yeah, everything's pretty much pinned down. And then I have there's like a lot. Um, I can take that first. This is the only capture. Now I can call it check. This is pinned, so he can't take it with the knight. This is check. All right, and this right here, everything's blocked off. So this check right here is almost check. I think it's checkmate. Yeah, I think that's checkmate. All right. You could send another challenge. It's almost 10, so I can do one more and then I can go off. Yeah, good game. We can do one more if you wanted. If not, I can play a bot real quick. Doesn't seem like anyone else is on. Yeah, don't do this. Last time you lost a pawn. You can. This is the normal move. Okay, that's good. Last time I won a free pawn, so that's an improvement. It's not a really good move, but it's an improvement because of the pawn thing. It's good to learn from your mistakes. Okay. I'll be coming in pretty soon. I also have over here. I might even have over here as well, depending on what's going on. If I call check now and he takes, I might be able to take the rook. If not, I'm not entirely sure what I'll be getting, but I'll get the pawn. Well, I'll be getting the rook anyways, because if you don't take, I can just take the rook anyways, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I'll take. I'll pre-capture. I have this right here, unless he blocks. Oh, that's good too. That works as well. I'm gonna develop my knight. Yeah, I have no actual threats, so I'm just gonna develop. That's gonna I'm gonna capture this way. Um, Even though it's isolated, it's towards the center, and my bishop can come out. If I capture this way, my bishop is still blocked in. So this helps develop my bishop. I want it in an active square, just to help attack the king when I'm ready. If I were to attack now, he can just block with the knight. If I were to call a check, he can just go here as well. So I'm gonna move my pawn up one. Maybe get rid of my double pawns. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to move this pawn up first before because of this capture. I didn't notice it last move, so I could have missed it. I also have a free knight that I didn't take. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take it now. He did block in my bishop though, which is good that he's seen that. I can also move up to attack the pawn to try to open everything up because he's in the center. I only have one extra piece, I believe. I'm up two full pieces actually, 6 points, two minor pieces. All right, that's a good idea. I'm gonna call check first. Where he goes. I might be able to call a check as well, depending on what he does. Okay. His king is safe for the most part. I can't take it as so I'm thinking about going here or here. I think this is better because I can go around. I can circulate. Going here allows some weird stuff. But actually, this is actually not that bad. So I can take the pawn or trade queens. But if you were to go here, I can just get the mate for free. So you wouldn't be trading queens actually. Yeah, this here as well. Attack the bishop like this. That's not. I can just take it. I don't see any really drawbacks. This will just open up the position for me. So, yeah, opening the position up is only good for me because I have more pieces, and we're both of our kings are in the center, but mine isn't under attack yet. I mean, he can try to attack it, but I can just block and then be safe. I mean, he'll take my rook, but I'm still pretty safe, and I can start attacking with my bishops and my queen. So even if I lose my rook, it's fine. I should have checkmate somewhere soon. He didn't see it. Wait, did I have? Yeah. Oh, that's right, because I would have taken the queen. Um, check. Pet by a pawn. This is the only only move he has, so I'll take here. He can have the rook. That's perfectly fine. This, I think this check is better because it opens up more diagonals. Okay. All right. Well, it was a good game. It's 10 o'clock now, so I'm gonna get going. So, no, that was a good game. I'm gonna get going now. So, um, like, subscribe, share. You can always share these to help get more people on. That would be very helpful. Um, yeah. So, thank you for your time. And I'm gonna get going now. I also have if anyone wants to do donations to PayPal, I'll put it in the link below. This helps me with my so I can continue streaming, and have time for it and so forth. And all right, thank you. All right, bye. Let me see.